left, right-hand side.
Okay.
Yeah. You got some more.
Problems out.
Very good.
Take care. Thanks. Have a great day. This is a Solar Edge system. It's a distributed system where they have these modules distributed around the system, one for each solar panel. And so each one of these manages its own solar panel. And it has the great benefit of each panel's individually optimized that way. If you get shade that goes over and covers a panel down there, it doesn't affect this one. And so it makes for a more efficient system, especially if you have shady conditions, which we have here with all these parapets that will at morning and evening and other times of the day. Plus, we can have the panels at all different orientations like we have here. It doesn't matter. Each one is individually optimized. Another benefit is that when the system is off, the module, the Solar Edge, what they call the power box or power optimizer, it turns off. So the system is a lot safer as a result for if a fireman or emergency people or anybody was ever up here working on the system. When the system's turned off, the panels are off. They just copy these drawings from previous and then they update them, and sometimes they don't catch everything, so.
Yeah. So, but anyway, look at the calculations over here. Your inverter one stringing, you know, they've got your short circuit current at 10.9 and it's 8.37 or something like that.
Well, you know, I think they take the 25%, you know, they add on the 25% and they call that the max. Well, that's not the max, that's just the ampacity, so.
Exactly. Yeah, the short circuit current right there is 8.73.
Yeah, they should be.
And so you're going to have two strings, they're both going to be 8.73.
Exactly. And then you know, if you look at the plaque for the, sometimes they'll show those as being, well, as they're showing the short circuit current is 22 amps. Well, that's not, that's the ampacity, not the short circuit, so.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that's not the ampacity. You're having two strings go through that DC disconnect so that they're both 8.73. You don't add them together unless you combine them.
Right, so they're 9 amps each is what I put on the plaque.
Exactly.
You know, because if you just say 9 amps, well, is that one of them or is that both of them, or it's not clear. So I solve it by putting the individual string, because you're talking about how much current's going through each switch. You want to know the 9 amps. That's what the 30 amp rating on the switch is. Well, no, not that switch, but they want to know what the individual rating is.
Exactly.
So I know. Okay, I'll get these changes done.
I'll just put this on the table and wait until I hear from you, and I can get on to my inspections.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
It's a win-win. It helps the environment. It saves money. What's wrong with this picture? Nothing, as far as I know.
He thinks everybody in this neighborhood needs to have solar.
Well, as a matter of fact, look at this. It's just a perfect setting, so that truly, if we have a good experience with this, I would imagine that our neighbors are going to be asking about it also. We calculate that with the 20-year lease program that we're doing, we're going to be saving about $10,000 over the next 20 years. So if someone walks up to you and says, look, here's $10,000 and you help the environment, what's the answer?
Jackhammer. Jackhammer over there.
We'll have like probably 75–80% of our electricity will be covered by solar. Then you don't feel so guilty about leaving your lights on at night, you know, and leaving the TV on when you're not watching it. Yeah. Probably should have done it 5 years ago, but better late than never, right?
There you go. Never too late.
Never too late to do the right thing for yourself and also for the environment, you know? Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer, really, with the tax credits
I don't know, I better double check.
and all the sunshine we have in Arizona. It'd be stupid not to, really, if you can afford it, which is, yeah, I just consider like prepaying my electricity bill for the next 20 years.
We're still relying upon the incentives, you know, the federal government's paying a third of the cost of these jobs in effect. And that's going to run out at some point in time. We got to be able to compete on an even basis, which means get the cost down. And one of the costs is these mounting systems, which is all custom made, unique, manufactured, engineered mounting systems. That costs a lot. So we've whenever possible, we make it ourselves. And like when we make it ourselves, it costs a third of what it costs. Or if you buy that same system, you know, and those systems are nice. They have all extruded rails and stuff, so where you can just slip the bolts in. You don't need any drills or tools hardly on the roof, which is nice, but it costs a lot. Well, our system is just as fast, a whole lot cheaper. Okay, yeah, we have to have a cordless drill on the roof. Big deal. But you'll rarely ever get the array up to 7, because that's only if the sun is at the perfect angle on a cool day and all the stars are in alignment and no clouds. And so it'll rarely get over 6,000. You know, in the morning it starts out at 0, and immediately as soon as dawn hits, you'll bump up and see a few watts. It's kind of amazing.
Wow.
And then it'll just.
And that'll be on here, how much you're generating.
Yeah.
And
you can sit there and watch it. It'll gradually increase it. It's all computerized to where it's constantly during the day, every second or two, it reevaluates the conditions and readjusts the operating point that the array is running at. And you'll just gradually see it's working its way up, higher and higher power levels. And then if like the sun goes behind a cloud, it'll drop way down.
And that's in usually September? Or August? When's your maximum usually?
Maximum is in April.
In April, just because of cool.
It's cool, and the sun is at a good angle to the panels. It's straight perpendicular to the panels. Where in the middle of summer, you've gone beyond perpendicular,
and
it's hot.
Really hot, yeah.
So you'll see the best amount of power in April, May, October, best time of year. And then the worst month is December, because the sun's so low that the days are short.
Not capturing much. Yeah. And is that, will it read out in watts or kilowatts?
It measures, well, initially it'll start out in watts, but it'll get up in the kilowatts.
I mean, it would be
It'll
like,
say kW.
oh, so it'd be like 5, it'll be 5.1, or it'll be 5100, or?
Yeah, it'll say, it'll give you 4 digits.
Yeah, okay, so it's accurate.
Yeah, and then eventually it'll get up into a megawatt of energy, cumulative energy.
Oh, cumulative, right.
And I had one guy call me up, oh, there's something wrong with the inverter. It's only done 1 kilowatt. I get out there, no, that's 1 megawatt. It's flipped over, you know, after about a year or something.
That's great. Well, I'm very excited. You guys have done a great job.